What's up, Hoop fans? Welcome to 1716, the most entertaining hour of basketball banter you will hear each week. On this show, I'm your host, David, Boston Celtics fan. We have with us our co-host, Lamar, the Los Angeles Lakers fan.
What's up, y'all?
And as we said...
wait. The shirt.
You said you were a Celtics fan.
The shirt.
I'm a Celtics fan. We'll talk about it. And also on this show, we brought with us a Sorry. Last show, we discovered there are no Cavs fans. We have with us a LeBron fan, Tiger.
Woo!
And on today's show, we're going to be talking about, LeBron, a whole lot. But before we get to that, in the first quarter, we're going to be talking about something that's been very popular recently. That is the 96 Bulls versus the 17-18 Warriors. We're going to give our little take on that. We'll see where we get with that. And then... contrary to what we said last week, Kawhi actually wants out, and he's become almost as big of a topic as LeBron has been. And of course, we'll talk about what happens with Popovich at that point. Then we're going to jump in, talk about where LeBron's going. We'll talk about the MVP or the NBA awards, which the MVP one will be quite a topic. And then we'll finish it up with Tiger's topic, which is the difference between KD's and LeBron's moves. So let's jump into it with the first quarter. So recently, you've been talking about, in the news, on the radio, they've been talking about which team would win. The 96 Michael Jordan-led Bulls or the 17-18 Warriors. Now, Tiger, you're not going to have the chance to talk about LeBron versus Jordan in this because LeBron couldn't beat this team. Okay, so let's take it up. What do we think? Who do we think would win 96 Bulls versus the current Warriors? What do we think?
All right, look. If we're talking, I think the big thing has to be how they're calling the game.
Okay, so which era are we in?
Are we calling the game in the 90s, or are we calling the game where illegal defense is going on, where hand checking is allowed?
Okay.
They can pull a little bit, more physical style of defense, because if they're allowed to be physical with Curry, I think that's a problem.
Who's going to guard Curry?
Well, you got to put, I think, Pippen on Durant.
Oh, okay.
And then I would put
Pippen on Curry. That's continue.
No.
Sorry.
No, I would put Pippen on Durant, and then I would put Jordan on Curry, because you're talking about one. I think the best perimeter defender.
Yes.
Michael Jordan.
So then, who guards Clay?
Harper.
See, I heard it switched. I heard that Harper guards Curry, and Jordan shuts down Clay.
I think Harper's too slow. Too slow foot for Curry. It would have to be Jordan. It would have to be.
Okay, so Jordan guards Curry. That means he's running around all over the place. Is he still himself on the other end? Is he still able to do all of his things?
Michael Jordan.
I agree. I agree. I'm just asking. I want to make sure that we cover it.
It's Michael Jordan.
That's the only answer you need.
It's Michael Jordan.
That's all you need right there.
So if you shut down those three, which...
Ooh, hold on.
So Scotty can shut down. Well, now when I say shut down against all-time greats like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, I mean like containment.
Okay.
Like maybe you're getting 25, 26 a night. If they can do that to right. If they can do that 26. To Durant and Curry, and they also are doing that to Clay to an extent, where the heck does Golden State go? To Draymond Green out at that three-point line, you know what I'm saying? Right? We know you can hit those threes, Draymond. Don't worry. We've seen you do it once or twice.
I say the bench.
Like Steph and Clay can.
Yeah, I say the bench. The bench for Golden State. You have those shooters coming off. And you have Andre Iguodala.
You also led by Iguodala. An NBA Finals MVP on the bench.
But I mean, that's your last resort, though, because you take away the jump shots of all of those All-Stars, basically taking away the entire offense.
Right.
True.
So what are we saying? I mean, is it just that simple? The Bulls are going to win?
Unfortunately, a lot of people might disagree with this, but it just might be that simple. You take away the jump shots, that's all you need.
So let's flip it around. The Warriors, who guards Jordan?
Who guards Jordan? Like he said earlier, it's Michael Jordan.
Who stands in front of Jordan and says, I got him?
Clay?
Question mark? Is it Draymond?
No.
Draymond's way too slow to keep up with
No,
Jordan.
that
He has
jumper
to
would
stay
be
on
on
Rodman.
fire.
Right.
all
He
night.
has
Okay.
to be on Rodman.
So it's got to be Clay. We'll come back. I'm going to come back to that in just a second. So it has to be Clay. Okay. All right. So then who guards Pippen?
KD.
Okay, great. So Pippen's scoring 50 a game, right? Right?
I don't know, man.
Look.
Pippen was physical when he was healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
When he was healthy, he was real physical.
I'm not trying to shut down Pippen by any means.
No.
I'm saying that KD can't guard him.
Well, I'm gonna say something that's gonna be a little crazy.
Okay, let's hear what you got.
KD's played better defense the last couple seasons.
I thought you were about to say then somebody.
No, not the Pippen.
No. Anybody.
That's fine, but you brought up that we'd be kind of playing in an area where it was a little more physical.
Well, we were between the two.
Yeah, I'm not
So
sure.
in the current, I think really our answers have been based around the 96 era,
The 96 era.
which I think the Bulls shut them down. I think the Bulls win.
Yes.
Now, before we jump to talking about the other era, Draymond versus Rodman. That's gonna be a good matchup. Except if we're in the 96 era, where Rodman would just
stomp on him.
Get it in.
Rodman would like spear you. And
Stomp
beat
on
you
him.
down.
because like
Stomp on
Draymond gets upset now.
First
right.
quarter. First
First
quarter.
quarter, it's over.
The dude would get 2 texts in the first 2 minutes.
Right,
Like,
right,
Yes.
absolutely.
like,
Yes.
Now, if we were playing in today's game, where Jordan can't touch Curry, period, can't touch him. Whoop, foul. Did I touch you? I don't think I touched you. Play the video back. I don't think I touched you.
Well, I think even Pippen too. If Pippen is
Right.
when he can't be physical with
Right.
Durant, it's over.
Pippen was
It's
strong.
over.
Pippen was
So
strong.
then, I think this is what's so cool about this matchup. In the 96 era, the Bulls destroy. In today's era, the Warriors are going to win.
Yeah.
Maybe even destroy.
With this current team, all
They're
healthy.
good.
Yeah.
What if they add AD? You can check out our last show to see our
We're not
impressions
even
on
I'm
that.
not-
touch that one.
Not talking about.
On that note, Kawhi Leonard. Now, last
Don't do it.
time, our guest Jeremy, he talked us through Kawhi staying in San Antonio because they were trying to attract LeBron to San Antonio. Now, it's only the first quarter, so I don't want to go too far into that part of it. But Kawhi has supposedly said that he wants a trade from the San Antonio Spurs, but according to the Spurs GM owner, they haven't heard anything about that. So, my question is he going to leave, bless you, and where is he going to go? I see that you've pulled up your notes. I'll let you go ahead and tell us what you're going to tell us. Actually, go ahead and, before you tell us that, tell us where go ahead. Just go ahead. I'll let you take the floor.
Well, look, there's no doubt I'm a Laker fan. You know, I want him to go to the Lakers. However, let me admit, in my heart of heart, I don't think he's going to go to LA. I think there's way too much that's going to go on with LeBron. There's too many pieces that have to work out, I think, for it all to happen. Now, plus, Kawhi, even though he wants to go to LA, we all know that Pop's not going to let him go to LA. It's not going to happen, guys.
But okay, and I heard this today. There's a lot of people saying that they won't trade him where he wants to go.
Correct.
Or they want to try and not compete with him by sending him maybe to the East. But shouldn't the Spurs be, instead of trying to spite their player that wants to be traded, shouldn't they be doing what's best for them?
Wait a minute. What's best for them is he has 1 year left on his contract before he can be a free agent.
I understand. So, I mean, what's best for them is to keep him. Potentially. But what I'm saying is, if they can trade him to the Lakers for the best set of players and picks for them, shouldn't they do that?
My argument, though, is, even though I hate to admit it, the Lakers are not the best deal. Unless I think if they put a deal around Kuzma and Ingram, I think that's something the Spurs need to look into. Although I would hate to see Kuzma because he comes cheap and he's a really good player, I think they need to think about that.
Okay, so before we get off the Lakers, because Kawhi has said that he wants to go to LA, right? That's where he wants to wind up. Apparently, he would prefer the Lakers, but he's open to the Clippers. They haven't been relevant since
2013.
they were relevant then.
With Blake Griffin or Lob
Oh,
City?
that star player. Okay, so
Where did he go again?
Oh, it's Blake Griffin. Detroit
hey,
basketball.
they're gonna be decent this year. They have
Dwayne
Dwayne
Casey.
Casey. They have
He's a
Dwayne
good
Casey.
coach.
Yeah, coach of the year.
He's a good coach.
So
We're coming back to that one.
okay.
All right.
So
All right.
Kawhi wants out. He potentially wants to go to Los Angeles. Where else could he wind up?
I think Philly.
Philly?
Yeah, I did know Philly was also trying to recruit. Well, there's a
The
lot
Celtics had a trade on the table
Right.
for Kawhi in February.
right.
Boston could happen.
So but real quick, because I can talk about that because I'm a Celtics fan, right? Oh,
As you can
this side of
tell.
my shirt.
Yeah.
As you can tell.
So if we need to give up a number of picks, maybe even Jason, Terry Rozier. Whoa. I'm okay with it.
You didn't even want to give him up.
If we have to touch,
couldn't get through that.
if we have to touch anyone whose name starts with the syllable J, it's a no. If it starts with the
You wouldn't
syllable
give
J,
up Rozier
no,
for Kawhi?
J.
Oh, I was,
J.
okay, I was about to say, I was like, ooh.
If their name starts with
Oh,
a syllable
man.
J, don't touch them. That's my thoughts on that. What do you think about him going to Cleveland? Are you a Cleveland fan or a?
I'm more of
Okay,
a
so what do you think about him? You're more of a LeBron fan.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
what do you think about him going to Cleveland potentially to team up with LeBron?
Truth be told, I mean, the only thing I can really say about that is, well, I can't really compare these two. I was going to say that if Kawhi, for some reason, did go to Cleveland, LeBron would essentially have his Scottie Pippen, but because obviously they're still too complete. Cleveland, of course, don't even want to touch that because they're trash. Anyway, it would help a little bit, but I still can't say that even if LeBron did take Cleveland to the finals again next year, I can't say that they would even still have a remote chance.
Side note: this video is not sponsored. Still not sponsored. Okay, so here's my thing, and I know what you're gonna say. I'm gonna say it and just hope that you don't say it. Doesn't LeBron and Kawhi, don't they play the same position?
It doesn't matter.
Because why?
LeBron's capable of playing forward, though.
All right.
You let LeBron, if LeBron had to play center, you put him at center.
If LeBron had to play anything
Put
between
him in
point guard
position.
and
I
center,
understand that, but
he's
if
perfectly
I understand
capable
that,
of doing
I understand that. But he's not a point guard.
He's not a point guard.
And
He
if
can
he-
play the point guard position.
Yeah, and he started to run out of steam when he has to do that for 82 games.
Let's go ahead and stop this conversation because cap space, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
It's not going. There's not enough cap space to get Kawhi.
And as far as
Cleveland.
LeBron running out of steam, as you say, I can agree there were points in the playoffs where I did see him starting to get tired. The man is too well conditioned to run out. The man only
But
needs,
if he's playing the point guard position,
if he's
for
playing the
82
point,
games,
I don't think it'll be any different. I don't think it would be any different because either way, he's still the floor general. He's still the captain of his team.
LeBron would have to change his game, I think.
I think the dynamic of the change. The dynamic of the game would change if he was supposedly playing the point guard position. But because of his
that'd be
durability, and because of how well conditioned he keeps himself, I don't see his energy levels being any different than when he plays three.
okay,
That's
I got you.
interesting.
I got you. So, this is a side note that I meant to say earlier. Can we agree? Where's Kawhi in the NBA? Like, where's he rank?
Put him three.
You put him 3
Or
behind. Who's the other one?
Who's third? For you.
Steph.
Okay.
I do. I just. The
I-
only reason,
point.
I put him 3, teetering on
I
2.
put a healthy Kawhi. Let me kind of
Yeah.
I put a healthy Kawhi Leonard
For
at
sure.
3 for
Absolutely.
sure.
Now-
And Steph is not far behind on number 4.
Until this year's NBA Finals, I put Kawhi. I love Kawhi.
Oh, he's a
I
great
put
player.
him
Absolutely.
teetering number 2. He's 3 right now. KD had a great finals. Okay. Can we agree that Kawhi Leonard is the best two-way player in the NBA?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I wanted to get out
Until
there.
LeBron wants to play defense.
Because when LeBron does show up on defense,
I'm not
he plays
talking
defense.
about chase down blocks.
He's
I'm talking about
he's a
on
good
the,
defensive
I'm talking
player.
about on the ball defense.
No, on the ball defense, LeBron.
LeBron can play on the ball defense.
I'm not saying he can't play it. I'm saying Kawhi does it better.
Are you telling me that
That's
if
debatable.
LeBron wanted to win Defensive Player of the Year, that he couldn't do
How
it?
come he hasn't done it yet?
Because
Come on.
Who said he was ever out for awards? That's my thing. Who said he was ever out for awards?
Miami.
Because
But wait, this is what. Hang on, wait. We're not going back to that. This is what I mean. If LeBron wasn't bringing up the ball so much, he's got more energy to give on the defensive end.
Right.
This is why he needs a point guard.
Like a Dwayne Wade. No,
Dwayne Wade's a
like a
team.
Mario Chalmers.
Well, I mean,
Even
it
someone
How
helped him.
come he
It
didn't
helped
do
him.
it then?
even someone as decent as Mario Chalmers, if he has that, he's straight. He's good.
Okay, so with what we've seen, because right now you're assuming that over an 82 game regular season, that LeBron could be and I'm not saying he's that far behind.
Okay.
But I truly think that Kawhi is the best defensive player in the NBA right now. Healthy Kawhi. Okay?
Gotcha,
Everything that
gotcha.
we're saying is assuming
Based
these
on
players
health.
are healthy.
Got you.
I think he's the best two-way player in the NBA.
Okay. Got you.
I can give you.
All right. What happens with Popovich?
My thing is, Greg Popovich is Greg Popovich. I don't really think that should Kawhi leave Golden State or should Kawhi leave San Antonio.
Please God, don't put him in Golden State. Oh my God. Sorry, go ahead. I feel like whenever
No, Anthony Davis. No.
Anthony Davis, Kawhi, come on over.
No.
Kyrie,
Keep the party going, man. Let's go.
Kyrie,
No.
go sit on the
I'd
bench.
be
Okay?
done. I'd be done.
Kyrie.
I'm not watching anymore. I'm not watching.
Come
the
on,
game
Kyrie,
anymore.
come off the bench for us.
Right.
Oh man,
No,
they could win with
But
6
anyway.
players.
That's
They
it.
could win with 6
They
players.
don't need a
Oh,
bench.
LeBron over there too.
Oh,
Because
On
they
the bench.
win with 7. No. LeBron's starting in places.
they couldn't put a cap. The cap space wouldn't
Cap-
be able. But
Cap space
no
wouldn't
way.
fit for them.
Hey, they
There's
can
no
take
way.
a pay cut. All right. Anyway,
exist.
you were talking about Greg
Anyway,
Popovich.
so should Greg Popovich not be able to keep Kawhi in San Antonio? I don't think there's any hole that he's going to crawl into because at the end of the day, Greg Popovich is Greg Popovich. We all know how great he is and we all know that he's a legend.
Right.
And honestly, I think I could possibly argue that when he retires, he might retire as the greatest coach of all time.
If he takes one more team and does the same thing, absolutely.
For sure.
I think that Pat Riley and Pat Riley and Phil Jackson. Why are you gonna sit there and just like let your boy like out there?
No,
Like,
no,
that's
don't.
your boy.
No.
You were just shocked that I couldn't come up with the name.
No. What I was thinking in my brain was, has Pop already passed up Pat Riley?
He might have.
I think, personally, I feel like
I don't put him above Phil, but I mean, has he already passed Pat Riley? I think
Number
so.
2.
I think so.
I'm okay with putting him
Yep.
number 2.
very close number 2.
I think so.
Okay, so what does he have to do to get well? Phil has 6, doesn't he?
Phil's got.
Because I feel like
No.
Oh, we're gonna
Because
get-
he also has
Phil's got-
the 2. I
Phil's
think he's
got
got
9.
9 or 8.
This guy's got 9 with the 3. No, sorry.
There was the
He's got
6
11.
there was the 6
3-peat with
Oh,
the Lakers.
6. I'm
the
stupid.
2, the
I'm sorry.
back-to-back with the Lakers.
My fault.
3-peat, the 2-peat, and then the 6 from Jordan. and
my
the
fault.
Bulls.
I wasn't
11.
doing math.
He's got
at all.
11.
I wasn't
Yeah.
doing math at all.
Yeah.
So I feel like with coaches, and we're not getting into this topic. We're gonna get off topic with what we're talking about. But I feel like with coaches, championships matter more than when you're like say comparing players, because the coaches. Does that make sense?
Well,
Yeah, I see what you're
Yeah.
saying.
And not only that, think about it. His triangle system, he ran it on all 3 of those championship teams,
Right.
and they all won championships. So obviously his system is working.
Right.
You know, even if he didn't, like, especially with those later Lakers, he didn't really run the triangle all the time. You know,
Yeah,
it was the,
he paid Kobe. He said, "Kobe, can you go win
it was
us
a
another
pick and
one?"
roll with Kobe and
Kobe
Gasol. So yeah, yeah, it was definitely pick and roll with. I admit that, but I'm just saying. With Jordan, if you go back and watch the old games, they ran the triangle, and it was smooth. It was very smooth.
Right.
Jordan's pull-up game was.
Okay, so getting back to what happens with Pop, it said that Pop doesn't expect to be coaching the USA team past 2020.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Can we assume that he's going to retire within that 2020 to 2024? Or will he retire from the NBA beforehand and just coach the Olympics team? Because if Kawhi leaves, I mean, we know that Pop's son, Duncan, has already retired. So that father-son relationship isn't there anymore. Why does he stay? I'm really upset that neither of you laughed when I said that. But I guess
he's definitely his son. You see the way Pop gets on Kawhi? Kawhi don't say nothing back.
Right. I don't know.
I can fully agree with that.
Right. So I think, I don't know. Is Pop going to coach next year?
I don't know what his contract situation's like.
I don't know that stuff.
Because Pop looks like the guy that would honor his contract, whatever he signed. So I think it depends on that. Plus, when your spouse has died, there's a lot that goes on. Well,
supposedly he's been doing better the last while about that.
But you wonder, like, what do you do?
Does it rely on LeBron? If LeBron decides to go to the Spurs, does he stay?
I don't think LeBron will have anything to do with what.
But Pop is said to be actively recruiting LeBron.
True.
And when you're the best coach in the game, is LeBron just going to be like, no, I don't want to go to San Antonio? Is LeBron going to say, hey, come with me to Los Angeles?
I would love that.
You would love that.
I would love it. I would love it. Oh, wow. It'd be so good.
Wow.
Oh, it'd be so good.
Okay, so real quick.
I love you, Luke, but you gotta go.
I didn't glance over.
You gotta go.
I didn't glance over when you said that, but I feel like your face lit up.
Of course it did. Of course it did.
Okay.
I wanted it to happen, but I know. I'm praying.
Does Popovich coach next year?
Yes.
Like this coming season?
Mm-hmm. Where?
I feel like he's staying. Regardless.
San Antonio, yeah.
I agree. So I think he's staying in San Antonio. We think he's staying in San Antonio. That's it for the first quarter of relevant news. Let's move on to the second quarter. LeBron is in free agency yet again. Let's flash back to 2010, just after the Celtics destroyed him. He walked off. He took his jersey off. That was it. Celtics scared him away. Let's fast forward to 2013, 14? Mm-hmm. 2014, sorry. 2014 NBA Finals. The Spurs spanked him so bad that he ran away.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Ran back home to mama.
That's what he wants you guys to
Let's go ahead and pause that because we all know Dwayne Wade was hurting. He was not the same player that same season.
But that Spurs team also would have destroyed them one way or another because that Spurs team.
And also, by the way, all I'm going to say about that is go back and look at his numbers from that series. Say about that one.
Still spanked him.
I'm not saying
it's hard to say that without a healthy Dwayne Wade.
But the Spurs were so good that year.
I'm not saying they were subpar. I'm just saying LeBron was the only one for the Miami Heat putting up decent numbers that series.
Okay. So then, LeBron comes home. Yeah. He wins the Cavs' first championships. Congrats, Cleveland. And now...
First title in 52 years.
First title in 52 years. Okay? So now things get difficult again. And LeBron is possibly wanting out. Okay? Where's he going? I want to talk about a couple of the options. I want to talk about what those teams would look like if he came, and then I want to talk about if they would be able to defeat the Warriors. So first, is he staying in Cleveland?
Personally, hope he does.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let you take this. Okay, so talk to me.
So his top options are staying in Cleveland, going to Philadelphia. Obviously, LA was one. What was the fourth? Houston.
We got Houston.
So I'll say this: I think you can cross off the possibility.
Wow.
And a lot of people will disagree with that, but I don't think he's going to do that.
Not going to the West. Why?
He wants to compete against Golden State for a title. I think I don't think he wants to just face Golden State in the conference finals. I think he wants to compete for them in the NBA finals for the championship. Now, if he does stay in the East, and again, you know what? If for some reason he does go to the West, I'll eat my words. But if he does stay in the East, I would love to see him go to Philadelphia.
Okay.
The reason I say that is because we talked about Philadelphia also possibly trying to acquire Kawhi Leonard. should those pieces end up coming together,
Simmons, LeBron, Kawhi,
Embiid.
Embiid. You really? That's all going to be a thing?
Now, okay. So theoretically, let's start by leaving Kawhi out of it.
Okay.
Like just LeBron goes to Philadelphia.
Okay.
LeBron gets the big man that he needs. He gets that rim protection. One thing, if you kind of look at all the squads he's ever played with, you know that he also demands perimeter shooting. He gets that in, for example, J.J. Redick and Robert Covington.
That is true.
So, based off of how LeBron plays and how he likes to kind of run his own game, he's kind of getting all the different components that will complement it.
Okay.
Here's my only thing about that. Don't you think that he would mess up Ben Simmons' development as a player? Ben Simmons has to have the ball in his hands to be effective.
That's fair, but I don't. You have to think about this though. Because I think I talked about this with a friend of mine actually the other day too. One of the two is going to end up playing off ball a little bit more than they're used to. But if we know LeBron James, he's big on getting the team involved.
No, I got you.
He's big on the team. He's not just out for himself, and he's not just out for.
No, I'm not saying that, but come on, you've seen it. LeBron has to dominate the ball up top, and what have we wanted from LeBron? Get in the post.
Well, this is the thing.
Get in the paint.
LeBron dominates the ball mostly when he has to. LeBron can take over a game whenever he has to or he wants to. But, like I said, he's also big on getting the team involved. So I don't think Ben Simmons would have to play off ball as much as a lot of people would think he has to. But the biggest thing for me is that LeBron is now surrounded, if he does go to Philadelphia, he's now surrounded with all the components that he needs. So I'd even go as far as...
So it's not about Ben Simmons' development. It's about
I think his development comes with playing with a player as great as LeBron James. His development will come from that.
But he's not going to be. He's not going to handle the ball as much. It's just what Lamar said.
You don't know that.
But I do know that. I do.
Ben Simmons was the number one option this year.
The only time I've ever seen LeBron play well off the ball was when he was with Miami. And Dwayne Wade had times where he could bring it up, just like Houston did this year with Chris Paul and James Harden both bringing the ball up at times. They traded off. I don't know if LeBron could do that, especially in the playoffs. You know he's going to want to bring the ball up and start the offense.
He'll want to bring the ball up, but like I said, it's all about getting.
He is. He's a pass-first player.
So that's why I say that some of Ben Simmons' development will come from just playing with
LeBron. So you think Ben Simmons could be a good two-guard, essentially?
Absolutely.
I don't think so. Not that jump shot.
So now you say that, I wouldn't say two. I think he'd make a decent 4 because he likes to play under the rim a lot as well.
Who?
Ben Simmons.
How tall is he?
6'10".
4. No. I mean, well, ooh.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I think he's...
Go ahead, keep talking about it.
I think he's about 6'10". I think he has like a half on LeBron.
He's 6'10".
That would take some coaching, though, to get his mentality there. But
fair. But, I mean, isn't that what the offseason is?
Who's their coach?
I can't remember his name, but he struggled against the Celtics. I know that.
Yeah, no.
He did. He got out.
Well, then again, there's no shame in that because you're also going up against Brad Stevens.
He lost 2 games, essentially, because of the coach.
Right.
I mean, I'm just...
I feel like LeBron has had enough of bad coaches.
Yeah. Brett Brown.
I feel like he's had enough of bad coaches.
That's also fair.
He's been the player coach for the last how many years?
Now you bring up bad coaches, and this is kind of what brings me as to why I don't believe Los Angeles either.
Okay.
Is because I won't even talk about the coaching as much as I will the surrounding cast.
That's fair.
If you look at all the teams LeBron has ever played with, he's not very big on playing with a team where majority of their guys are young. I think there's about 17 players on the Lakers. All but 4 of them are 30 years or older. I think Brook Lopez just turned 30 this year.
Right.
So, just me personally, I don't think LeBron is going to want to play with so many guys who are so young and inexperienced.
Right. He wants to win.
Because I think LeBron would take that. Debatable, and if he would take that team to the finals, but they're obviously not
I hear you on that. I'm just saying, just realize, especially if they get Luol Deng off the books. They get Luol Deng off the books. There's so much cap space where they can put all of these young guys and get vets.
So then let's say that. So we transition to talking about the Lakers now. Mm-hmm. If he goes to the Lakers, who's the star that joins him? I think there's an obvious number one.
Has to be Paul George.
I think Paul George.
Has to.
Does that push them over? Like, where does that put them?
think that puts them in the conference finals again.
Okay, conference finals. So that means that they're going to be who?
They're not going to be Houston.
They're going to be Houston?
Well, it depends. Houston's got a lot of work to do this offseason,
They do.
too.
They have a lot of work to do.
So
I think that would be a good series, but I think just because LeBron has the edge over a lot of those guys.
You know
in
what?
Houston,
I could see that Lakers team beating just because it's LeBron.
Right.
I could see LeBron getting
LeBron is
past because
LeBron.
it's just hard.
The series now the series goes to 7 games.
Wait a minute. You keep doing this. You did this last week. What about Chris Paul?
Who?
See, I'm tired of you doing this.
You
man.
are garbage, man.
Why do you keep doing this?
You
Why do
are
you keep disrespecting
garbage.
this man?
What is CP3 going to do against LeBron? Nothing. What's Harden going to do against LeBron? Nothing.
Did CP3 not ball against Golden State?
He did.
He did.
Until he got hurt. Just like he does in every
Well,
playoff.
what can you do about getting hurt?
Just like he
my
does
word.
in every playoff.
Wait, what did he do this year in the playoffs?
He got hurt.
Okay, he got hurt. He wasn't a disappointment.
No. Except when he got hurt.
That's
I
disrespectful.
don't even know what to.
As a
I don't know what to say.
preview,
I don't even know.
next week, actually, you know what? I don't think Lamar knows this. Next week, we're going to be bringing on a Houston Rockets fan to talk with us about the conference finals. That's just a preview for next week.
Speaking of Houston, let me say this though: if they get LeBron,
They won't.
These segues are freaking sick.
if they get LeBron, can you imagine LeBron re-signing Chris Paul, James Harden? Now, obviously, they need to get Ryan Anderson off the
LeBron
books.
James would not play with
Did
James.
y'all know?
There's another player on that team that's also... Sorry, thinking wrong team.
No,
Continue.
did y'all know that Ryan Anderson, is like I think he's like the second or third biggest salary on that
Ryan
team?
Anderson was... I'm thinking of the right guy. The guy that was in Miami?
No, not him.
Okay.
Ryan Anderson's a tall swingman who essentially is
Ryan
only there for
Anderson
3-point shooting.
Ryan Anderson used to play with New Orleans.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
He is literally like second or third on their payroll. He's,
Right.
Get him. He's Lou
dude,
Deng situation.
dude is a sharpshooter though. So
He can't run, man.
Can't.
He can't. If you can't run down the
So-
floor, it doesn't matter if you can't shoot.
So then what would Houston look like?
Well,
CP3.
I'm just gonna say this. There's no way that LeBron. There's no
Why?
way. There's no way.
Why?
Those two would not coexist. At
Against
all.
Golden State, I bet you he'd be like,
LeBron
yep.
James, no, listen to me. LeBron James playing with James Harden would be the same situation as Kevin Durant playing with Russell Westbrook. LeBron would hate that.
I can't believe you just did that.
LeBron would hate
Oh my God.
that. LeBron would hate that. Because with James Harden, it's the same situation.
James
dribble,
Harden does want the ball.
Dribble. Whatever this travel situation is, he calls a step back.
It would be like
Throws up a random three.
like the All-Star game with Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas, where Michael Jordan literally had to steal the ball from Isaiah Thomas in order to score.
Guys, wait a minute. Wait, look. I think here's why I'm saying y'all are being so disrespectful right now. Yes, both of you is being disrespectful. Let me tell you. Yeah, both of you are being disrespectful. Let me tell you why. Let me remind you that people were saying the same thing. I was saying the same thing when him and Chris Paul got together. I said, the 2 ball dominant guys can't do it. During the season, wasn't a problem. And guess what? They were 1 game away from beating Golden State, and they should have beat them this year. Mm-hmm. They should have beat them this year.
I think last time I checked, Chris Paul and LeBron James are 2 different people. Am I wrong?
I'm just saying, but if you put LeBron in that...
So then you're going to add that on top?
What you need to do is ask LeBron then to say, you know what, LeBron, you're a great player, but we need you to do all of that, rebounding, assisting, dirty work. Don't bring the ball up.
LeBron won't do it.
For a championship?
No.
For a championship?
No.
He
LeBron
would.
LeBron won't do it.
For a chip?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
I don't think so.
I think he would.
So.
LeBron, look,
absolutely not.
I hear you, man.
Absolutely not.
Yes, he would.
No,
okay.
For a chip.
There's no way he's going to use it.
So that's the 4 main ones. Cleveland, Houston, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles. Let's just quickly talk. Are there any others that could potentially land him?
He's sure not going back to Miami.
He's not going back to Miami.
No,
That's
sure.
There's no way. He's not going to Boston.
No.
Kyrie don't want him. The fans don't want him. LeBron, I'm looking you in the eye. If you somehow LeBron, if you somehow find this, we don't want you in Boston.
No, he's not. I don't think that'll happen.
He's not going to want to go to Boston either.
Good.
No.
Good.
No.
So it's mutual there.
What else? He would look me back in the eye and say, I don't want to go there. Anyway, who else? I don't think there's any other teams that... I mean, we didn't talk... We briefly earlier talked about San Antonio. I don't think he's
I don't
going
think
there.
that's happening.
Okay, so the last thing before I ask where you think he's gonna wind up. Ooh, we getting close to some definitive stuff.
Spell definitive.
LeBron's sons are in school, and this show is not sponsored. LeBron's sons are in school where?
Man.
You know where LeBron's sons
LA.
get up
Los
for school?
Angeles.
In LA.
Yes.
What did he say the biggest decision was going to be? The biggest factor.
Wait, but LeBron.
What did Dwayne Wade say? His best friends, because LeBron.
It's gonna be about family.
It's going to be about family.
But
Is
when
that
you
a
got
hint?
When you have that kind of money, does it really matter?
He wants to be near his kids.
He wants to be near his kids. I just don't want people making the assumption that because he bought a home in LA and his kids are going to school in LA, that doesn't mean he's going to Los Angeles. This means he's not going to play with the Lakers.
Doesn't
or the
mean,
Clippers.
but it does. It doesn't hurt. It's LA.
Oh, gosh.
The sunshine and the beautiful weather. The man
There's
probably
actually
can wear.
some pretty nice weather in Philadelphia. I've been there before.
I'm just saying, it's not the same when you get in December and January.
Houston has some great weather.
Mm-hmm.
just the only downside is James Harden. But
We'll
anyway,
take you and LeBron. We'll take you, LeBron. Come on, LA. Bring Paul and,
All right.
and Kawhi with you.
Tiger, where's your... I'll let you go last. I think LeBron is not going to the Spurs. I think LeBron. Okay, so earlier before the finals were over, I thought LeBron was going to go to Philadelphia. That was I was so sure he was going to go to Philadelphia.
I was pretty positive.
Going to ruin that
one
team.
too.
They're going to lose to the Celtics in the conference finals. That's how I viewed it. After the latest things that have come out that he said, that Dwayne Wade has said, which I know Dwayne Wade doesn't have any, and he made that very clear. Dwayne Wade said, I don't know anything. You ask me a question, I'm going to give you an answer.
Right.
And said that.
Right.
I'm 50-50 between Philadelphia and the Lakers. And the only factor that we did not talk about was Magic Johnson. Because Magic Johnson can convince LeBron to come to the Lakers, which I would love personally, especially if he had a team that could do it, make it to the conference finals, because if he goes to the West, the Celtics are going to the NBA Finals for the next 15 years.
See, I knew you had another
not that
option.
long.
I knew you had another motive. I knew it was too good to be true.
That's not it. That's not
Too
the
good.
main point. That's not the main point. What I'm saying is that if he goes to the West, the Celtics have an easy road to the NBA Finals until another big shakeup happens. In the finals, they can meet Lakers. And then I'm taking both of y'all on. You Lakers fan, you LeBron fan, we're going to beat y'all.
You're right, because you can't beat LeBron.
Wait, did
So
you
if we
actually
met in the
say-
finals, between the Lakers and
Wait,
Celtics,
hold on.
and we had LeBron, we
Self-
would beat you.
Self, when you're editing that, go ahead and cut it right after he said
We
that's
would beat
right.
you.
And then I'm taking both of y'all on. You Lakers fan, you LeBron fan, we're going to beat y'all.
Right. You.
Go ahead
We
and
would
cut
beat
it.
you.
No. Go ahead and cut it right after he
We
said
would beat
that's
you.
right.
We would beat you.
That's right.
Because you can't beat LeBron. You can't beat LeBron.
Who can't beat LeBron?
The Celtics.
What about the Celtics?
They can't beat LeBron.
Who scared him away in 2010?
They cannot beat
I'm sorry,
LeBron
who did
James.
LeBron beat in the conference finals this year?
So you already think we
He
were
won't-
at
he won't answer the
50%. We were at
He won't
50%.
answer
With
the
a
question.
healthy team, we will beat them. LeBron won this year. He squeaked it
Wait
out
a minute.
this year.
You had KG. You had Paul Pierce.
Ray
you,
Allen.
you had the team.
That was
you
the
had
big-
the
that was the
Doc
big four,
Rivers.
wasn't
you had
it?
Big Baby coming off the bench. That team was legit,
That was
man.
the-
We
Come
had
on.
Big Baby, we won.
Yes.
Then we
That
didn't-
was his point.
Then we didn't make it there in 2009 because KG got hurt. And then we made it past him in 2010, and then he had to go team up with 3 of the top 5. We're previewing the 4th quarter,
We're putting a pin in that.
Lamar.
We're putting a pin in that. We're coming back to it. I'm just saying, you can't beat LeBron.
Where's he going?
If I'm in the hot seat,
No, you're not. He's in the hot seat.
Guys, I want him to go to LA. I really do.
Yes,
I just see too many. There's too many obstacles.
wants-
too many obstacles there.
Like what? Like the people.
Like
Because think about
like
you.
the Lonzo
because
Ball,
the ball.
Kyle O'Keefe.
It's
The Lamar.
No,
the
I'm not.
LeVar
Not even
Ball.
with the current pieces. Magic is not enough. You have to get. Think of how much money you're gonna have to convince Paul George not to take. That's hard when they put money on the
Wait,
line.
but
in
they have-
Oklahoma
Should Paul
City.
George
But
even
they
go
have-
to LA though?
They have space.
Yes, absolutely.
They have space for 2 max, don't they?
They do, but if he stays with Oklahoma City, he gets more money. You know, same thing
But
like when Chris Paul.
Paul George-
if he had stayed there with the Clippers, he could have received more money than when he went to Houston.
Paul George, you are too good of a player to not play for a championship. Go to a team, win a championship. Don't stay in Oklahoma City playing with the biggest ball hog in the NBA. And the second biggest ball hog in the NBA. You can put them in whichever order you want.
Russ definitely takes number one on that one, but that's another conversation.
Let's be real here. LeBron and Paul George are not enough to beat Golden State.
Okay.
It's plain and simple.
No, absolutely.
Not enough to
So
beat
then
them.
does LeBron make a move like going to Los Angeles if it's not going to be enough to beat the Warriors?
Correct, which is why I say then he goes to Philly. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to keep saying it. Y'all, I know you're going to laugh. Houston is still an option. I'm telling you, there's some kind of way. I got a feeling they're going. I don't know. I got a feeling.
Well,
he wants to play Chris Paul.
I'm sure we will chat about that some next week. But all right, LeBron boy, where's he going?
Like you, I'm split between LA and Philadelphia, but I think there's a chance he might go to Philadelphia.
I was really hoping you would say, but I think stay in Cleveland.
I don't know. He's not gonna go back to that load of garbage.
If he's gonna stay in
I mean,
Cleveland,
that he created.
if he's gonna stay in Cleveland, he needs a new coach.
He did. He created the garbage.
Excuse me, let me say this the right way. He needs a coach. Any coach is fine. You coach, submit your applications now. He needs another star.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Kevin Love, you're good, but you're not what
Consistent.
you were.
Doesn't have the mentality.
He doesn't.
And he's not
Does not
consistent.
He does not have a mentality to play with LeBron. So Love needs to be traded. Love seems like a Spurs kind of guy. I just thought about that. Love seems like a Spurs kind of guy. Kawhi for JR, and he's going to trade J.R. Smith out of there too, and probably George Hill. LeBron's going to walk in.
What is it that JR's done? What is it that
JR's done?
We're
not going to talk about that.
I'm saying like like where LeBron, you know he's going to try to bring him on.
Oh yeah.
Like, what is it? What does he have on him?
Okay, so
I'm just saying.
Is Dan Gilbert the owner of the Cavs? Am I thinking the right name?
Yes.
LeBron's going to walk into Dan Gilbert's office and say, I want you to trade Tyronn Lue, Kevin Love,
You can't trade
J.R. Smith, and George Hill. You know what all three of those had to do? They didn't win me a championship. Trade them all to San Antonio. One big package for Kawhi Leonard. That's all. I don't care what else you do. We'll be good.
It's not enough.
But they can put other role players around because everyone wants to play well.
You put Ty Lue in the. Why would
Trade him.
Popovich want Ty Lue?
I don't know.
As an assistant
He can get
coach.
stepped over.
He wouldn't even. Oh, stop it. See, you know what? We won that series. Thank you very much.
You did, because that team sucked. All right. Any other hot takes about where LeBron's going? I think we covered just about everything.
Yeah. I think we said about it.
That's it for the second quarter. Now for the third quarter.
All right.
Oh! In the third quarter, we're going to be talking about the NBA awards, which are coming up very, very soon, which is why I wanted to talk about them today. I do believe they happen later this week, so next week you'll get to hear our reactions about who won. Let's start off. Let's flip it. No, I'm gonna pick and choose. First up, let's talk about the Rookie of the Year. Let's just start it off. The Rookie of the Year candidates are Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz, Ben Simmons of the Philadelphia 76ers, and Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics. Who do we think is going to win Tiger?
Donovan Mitchell.
Why?
Not even a question. The other two did not play the season did not have the season that Donovan Mitchell had.
Okay, Lamar.
It has to be Donovan Mitchell because when you're talking about a guy who had so much on him from game one, he had to be the guard to run everything for them. It has to be Donovan Mitchell.
He should have showed up.
I'm sorry, Simmons didn't show up until mid-season, mid to end, and then Tatum, I'm sorry, he's aided by good players around him, and he's aided by a great coach. Yes, phenomenal coach. I'm not saying that should count against him. I'm saying that those things were better than what Tatum did this year.
Those things are just in play for Jason Tatum.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so real quick, I just want to read this. This is from USA Today. I don't know what it says, but I'm going to read it. Donovan Mitchell taken 13th overall. Mitchell spent the season making those who passed on him regret their decision. Okay. Ben Simmons spent a year on the sideline with a foot injury. Is he actually a rookie?
Yes.
That's a whole different thing.
Yes, he is.
Tatum, the 3rd overall pick, played a significant role for the Celtics from the get-go. Finished the season ranked 8th in the NBA with 3-point percentage of 43.4. So Tatum had a great 3-point percentage.
For a rookie.
I mean, 43 is great for anybody, right?
Sure.
I think it's great for anybody. So, obviously, I'm going to pick Tatum. Okay, hold on. Let me ask this question.
So, wait. So, let me get this straight. Just based off of his 3-point percentage. That, you're going to pick him as...
everything. The way he... Okay, I have a question. Hold on. Who's the best of the three?
Donovan Mitchell.
You think he's a better basketball player?
No question.
Right now, he is a better basketball player.
Even if we're factoring the playoffs?
Yes.
Okay, I fully disagree with that.
Wait. Hey, let me say this. If they switch right now, if you put Tatum on the Utah Jazz and you put Donovan Mitchell
on the Celtics.
The
Celtics go to the finals.
The Celtics are going to the finals.
No!
They're going to the NBA finals.
Yes,
they are.
If Donovan Mitchell played for that Boston team, they beat Cleveland.
Well, it's a different position. One is a forward, the other is a guard.
Okay.
Jason Tatum's a 3.
Is that a forward position or not?
I thought you said 4.
Are you saying Donovan Mitchell can't play the 3 position if he could? Surrounded with those guys on the Celtics? With Jaylen Brown and Rozier
No. Hold on.
Kyrie Irving.
This is not how this conversation is going to go. We're going to stop this right now.
What?
Because I was going to switch and say that what's his name? Mitchell should have won. Not sponsored, by the way. I was going to switch it and say that Mitchell should have won the Rookie of the Year. Okay, I was gonna switch and say that. Are we?
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
It was a perfect moment. Hey, I was gonna switch. No, I'm not letting this go.
David.
I was gonna switch.
I was like, I got him. I'm gonna keep him where I want him. I got him.
David, you sounded so upset when you said it.
I was gonna switch and say that Mitchell was gonna win Rookie of the Year. You listening to me?
Yes.
I was gonna switch and say that Mitchell was gonna win Rookie of the Year.
That's common sense.
Only after you two said out loud that Tatum was the better player. Because Tatum is the better player.
No, he's not.
Wait, but that's one discussion. That's fair, okay? But who played the best this season?
Who had the best?
Mitchell. I just wanted you two to say out loud that Tatum was the better player.
Oh, if we're talking about
That's not gonna happen, David.
Wait. When we talk about Tatum, though, majority of the stuff we talk about is about his potential, right?
No.
What he can
Yes, it's
be.
about his potential.
What he can be, not than what he currently is. What he can be.
Okay, hold on.
What he will be in like a year or two.
Listen.
Right.
Hold on.
We're talking about Donovan Mitchell right now.
LeBron James himself said that Jason Tatum was bred for greatness.
Yes.
We're talking, if we take his peak that we've seen so far, which is going to point, the peak of Tatum,
I get what he's saying.
which we've seen so far, is that his potential.
That is not, no. He'll be,
Okay, fine.
He'll be better in 2 years than he was.
Absolutely.
Then let me rephrase. In 5 years, who's the better player?
Tatum. That's fair.
Okay, so I think that Mitchell is obviously going to win Rookie of the Year. Let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about the sixth man. So, sixth man of the year.
I'm done with these.
We have Houston's Eric Gordon.
Done.
We have Los Angeles Clippers' Lou Williams. And we have Toronto's Fred VanVleet. Now, I'm going to rule out the last one because I'll be honest. I'll be vulnerable here. I hadn't heard the name until about hour and a half ago. So it can't be him. Eric Gordon or Lou Williams.
I think it has to be Eric Gordon.
Yeah,
but Lou Williams played really well until
I think just the injury is
Right?
keeping him from winning.
yeah, his injuries really caught him up. But man, he was playing.
So
really well.
Williams averaged a career high 22.6 points off the bench. That's a big number for a bench player.
He started some games too. I don't know how many, but he
Right,
did
right,
start
right.
some.
He said though he started 19 games.
Okay, gotcha.
So 19 out of 82, that's still a pretty good number.
But Eric Gordon, man.
Eric Gordon was the sixth man last year and increased his points per game and his shooting percentage. I think Eric Gordon has to take it. Especially if you factor in the team success in any. The Clippers were nothing this year.
I agree.
Sure.
Lou Williams was just because he had to shoot.
Right.
He had to.
And
there was
Lou
no,
Williams,
Wasn't there a game
no
he put up, like,
disrespect to
52
him.
points this season?
There was.
None of us are disrespecting Lou Williams at all. He's done his thing for years.
Right. Dude is very underrated in my opinion.
Right.
And then Van Fleet or whatever his
So
name is.
Van
He
Fleet
wasn't consistent enough.
He's a second-year guard.
I didn't hear his name until I think you had said something about like him trying to take the final shot in Game 2 against Cleveland,
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
Of all people,
I did say that.
of all people,
Yes.
Fred Van Vliet. That's his
A
name.
guy that I've never, Van Fleet.
He's a
I
good
never
shooter.
heard-
He's
I-
a good shooter.
I
He's a
never
really
heard
good
his
shooter.
name until that night. Never heard his name.
He's a good shooter, but he got a
So
little...
is that one of those that like Lou Williams and Eric Gordon were so far ahead that they were like, crap, we have to have a third person.
We have to have it. Let's just
And it was
find.
and they came up with the nominations on the night that he shot that shot. They were like, ooh.
Fred VanVleet. Let's put him in
Hey,
there.
No,
the-
that was
the-
just the first name they saw. Like, you know what?
No.
It's
They were like, hey, the coach of the
Oh,
the coach of the
man.
year, the coach of the year thinks that Van Fleet is worth. Speaking of, let's go
believe you just-
on to the coach of the year.
Let's talk about this.
It's going to be a very quick talk because we all agree that Brad Stevens is the coach of the year. And he should have been the coach of the year last year. There should have been 2 in a row
He's getting started.
because the injuries. Because the injuries. Because gosh darn it, 6 minutes into the season, the player that we were most looking forward to being on the team goes down.
First game.
First 6 minutes,
Over
first
Kyrie?
quarter. Yes.
What?
We were more excited to just hold on.
I was personally more.
We were more excited to see how Brad Stevens and Gordon Hayward were going to
y'all
work
are-
together.
Y'all are both
No.
disrespectful.
I was more excited to see Kyrie.
I-
I'm sorry.
Now, very quickly afterwards, obviously Kyrie's doing his thing.
And Kyrie Irving is
And-
Kyrie Irving.
And
so-
Brad Stevens led that team with Kyrie Irving to the second seed, almost had the first seed, but the second seed in the NBA, or in the Eastern Conference. Okay? And I know that this is a regular season award, but, also, who's the other person that was in it?
Snyder from Utah, but no.
Oh, but Mitchell was so great that, should be considered, right?
Snyder was a good coach, but he wasn't. What, they finished 4th, right, in the West?
Yeah.
So then Dwayne Casey obviously did a fantastic job in the regular season. Super fantastic, had a wonderful season. He also had a lot more than what Boston had
What?
to work with. Talent-wise, I think he did.
Oh my gosh!
DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Valanciunas.
None of those guys are Kyrie Irving.
No, they're
one,
not.
Not one of them.
But you add the talent
Guess what?
together.
I could name more guys on Boston than.
Not one of them. Not one of them.
I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, because you saw them in the playoffs longer.
I mean, what? We can talk about
No,
Ibaka
because
being like
those same teams have.
Boston was hands down the more talented team. When we look,
They would have swept.
Kyle
Toronto,
Lowry
too.
is overrated.
Boston
I'm
would've-
gonna say it. I'm gonna say it
and
again.
Boston would've
Kyle
swept
Lowry
Toronto.
quit. He quit in the playoffs. He quit. He quit on them.
No,
which
after
team
he saw that
quit.
game winner in Game 3, he absolutely quit.
He quit on them.
You saw the
He
look
quit.
on his face.
And he quit the year before when he didn't want to play because he was injured. He quit on them. I'm not supporting Kyle Lowry. I refuse to
So
support Kyle Lowry.
which team was the most talented?
Celtics?
Oh, okay, cool. So Stevens
Yes.
still
There's no
should win
question
it.
about
The
Stevens
coach
should
of the
win.
year.
Yes, Brad
He
Stevens.
should have won it last year.
And,
It should be.
and especially just because Brad Stevens is a genius. Like
Yes,
aside
he is.
aside from the talent he had on his team and how well they executed,
Right.
Brad Stevens is just a genius.
However, Dwayne Casey is very underrated as coach.
We'll
I'm gonna say
see.
it.
We'll
I'm
see
gonna
this
say it.
year. We'll see this year. Now, as a super side note, because we're we're going to go way longer than we expected to. That's okay, though. As a super side note, we are not sponsored. And
Sorry, y'all.
I forgot what my super side note was.
I couldn't help it.
If we entertain any thought, and I know this is a regular season award, so I'm just stating this.
Gotcha.
If you add in the playoffs, bro, you can't get fired and win Coach of the Year.
Wait, it was after the playoffs though,
Yeah,
and they didn't fire him because
Matter
he
of
was
fact, yeah, it was
winning.
after the finals were over.
But the awards happen next week. You can't that's going to be so weird to be like, and our Coach of the Year is
It's a regular season award, is it not?
Yes, but
But okay, so then let's leave out the
Period.
theory of if it applies to the playoffs as well, because the reality is it doesn't.
Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. We're coming back to that point. I'm just saying that. Record it. Save what you just said. Save it. I want to come back to it.
Either way, Brad
Okay, I
Stevens.
don't
Either
know.
way, Brad Stevens wins.
I don't know where he's going to come back. Oh, I do know where he's going to come back to.
Coming back to that.
Okay.
Coming back to it.
All right, so Brad Stevens should win Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Cool, blank, done. Let's talk next about Defensive Player of the Year. So here we have Clint Capella of the
Houston Rockets.
Houston.
No, we said
Sorry,
Defensive
Defensive Player of the
player,
Year.
yeah.
We have New Orleans' Anthony Davis. We have Utah's Rudy Gobert. And we have Philadelphia's Joel Embiid. So let me just read these couple stats here. For Davis, he was an MVP candidate. He led the league in blocks, and he was 15th in steals. Rudy Gobert, the Jazz, boasted an NBA best defensive rating in 97.5 in the final 38 games of the season. I was about to say the Celtics had the best defensive rating, but anyway.
right.
So the final 38 games of the season, which that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
No,
It is.
Absolutely.
After Gobert returned from injury, comes back and the team has the best record. Ooh, that's a hard one to fight. Joel Embiid, the Sixers had a 99.9 defensive rating with Embiid on the court and 111.1 with him off the court. That's a 12-point turnaround when he's off the court.
Gotcha.
So who do we think should win Defensive Player of the Year?
I think it should be Gobert, but sometimes when he doesn't play enough games, I think people forget, that kind of thing. And so I think if that's the case, it would be Embiid. But if you're talking really who I would take over all three, it's Anthony Davis if I had to pick a player. But I'm just saying.
Oh, if we had to pick a player,
but this season,
no question.
Nobody on the planet
This season,
would
I
take
would say
one of those.
I would say Gobert for me personally.
Except maybe like Utah fans and
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia fans.
Wait, the Jazz fans? What? They exist?
They have fans?
What? Oh well, yeah, they do.
Those arenas.
I'm
were
not going to
crazy.
insult the state of Utah like that.
Those arenas were fairly packed.
I'm not
out
going to
during
insult
the
the state of
playoffs.
Utah like that.
Those arenas were fairly packed out during the playoffs.
They bring it. They
Who do
bring
you think
it.
wins Defensive Player of the Year?
Rudy Gobert. If
Gobert?
we're talking about this past regular season, Rudy
Right.
Gobert.
Yeah.
Now again, if to your point, if we're talking about of those three, who would you pick just defensively in general? Anthony Davis.
Easy.
Don't be
So-
surprised if Embiid wins it though.
I
Don't
think
be surprised.
in a few years, Embiid might win it.
We'll see.
Yeah, I
Few
see
years.
that. But I think Gobert has it this year.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Most Improved Player of the Year. Okay, so Most Improved Player of the Year, we have Indiana's Victor Oladipo. We have Houston's Clint Capella. And Brooklyn's Spencer Dinwiddie.
Who?
We're gonna stop right there.
Dinwiddie.
We're just gonna stop right there.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
I don't know.
Hold on, let me read this. Playing for the Nets kept him out of the national spotlight for much of the season. You don't say.
You can say that again.
But he upped his score. I can't read this. He upped his scoring from 7.3 all the way to 12.6.
Whoa, 12.6.
For starters.
Hey, that's a whole.
You know what? Can we just move on?
David,
This is not
that's a
worth
whole
our
5
time.
points.
All right,
This is not worth our time.
So Oladipo or Capella.
Oladipo.
I think that's a legit thing.
Oladipo.
Capella
That is
did a
legit.
great job.
Yeah.
However, and I know I keep talking about the playoffs. Do the freaking award ceremony. Put a week in between regular season and postseason, and do the award ceremony then.
Really, I like it after But I think they should factor in the playoffs.
No, not true at all.
I think so.
To an extent.
So.
Well, if you're going to factor in, you got to factor it in.
I think so.
No, because there's already what they need to do is they need to have more awards in the playoffs. Maybe that's the way to do it. Because they already have the Finals MVP. Well, no, because then if you say a Finals defender...
Do they have an All-West team and an All-East team or something like that? Or...
They should.
They should.
That would make some nice contract bonuses.
Because, like, if you factor in the playoffs at all, Oladipo ran away with that.
For sure.
Oladipo led that team to Game 7 against LeBron in the first round. And I know you were scared. Couldn't use that argument anymore. I know you were terrified about that, and I was so excited for it.
Same reason you were scared about it.
I'm so glad the mic didn't hear you say that. Yes! Yes!
You mean that you were scared in the conference finals? What?
That's not what he said.
Because you can't beat LeBron?
And no one can prove it.
Oh, no, I can prove it, though, because I have a memory, and I did say that you were scared during the conference finals. You were scared
during the conference finals.
No.
Yes, you were.
We're moving on. I'm a Spurs fan.
Didn't you disappear? Did you disappear after the conference finals ended?
You did disappear. I couldn't even
Where have you been the last 3 weeks?
Same place you were after the conference finals ended.
Where have you been since 2012? 11.
Wait, 12. It's definitely 11.
Those words. When
11.
When LeBron comes, you're going
to eat those
words. He's not.
You're going to eat those words. You're going to eat those words.
Keep dreaming.
He's coming. He's coming. Paul, too. Kawhi will probably take another year.
Has anyone seen Lamar? Haven't seen him in about 7 years.
Lakers. I'm
loyal. How are you doing today?
I'm loyal. You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
See, man.
All right. Anyways, I think Capella is the most improved. However, I can't really argue.
Whoa, really?
I can't really argue that Oladipo.
I forgot he did say that earlier.
Yeah.
I can't really argue that Oladipo point, but I really think
here's the thing. Oladipo led his team.
It's true.
He went from is this his first year in Indiana?
Yes.
Okay, he went from role player on.
That's right, because he got traded from
Thunder.
Right, that's right.
He went from role player on Ball Hog City to
Yeah, that's what you got to
Ball Hog City. He went from role player on there to leading a team.
Yes.
Capella is in, what's this, I don't know what year it is. I apologize. I'm sure our one listener that I know, Rockets fan, he'll be on the show next time, but he's just screaming at us right now. But
second!
Right.
You idiot!
I'm sure, I'm sure that he is great, but I just don't think he did what Oladipo did.
No.
What?
Not at all. No, not at all.
Guys, wait.
Because Capella did
not
no.
Let me ask this. Where was Clint Capella during the conference finals?
No. Wait. We just said this is based on the regular season.
Regular season.
Right?
Sure.
But he's a third option.
Well, that's not what I'm getting at, though. Because let's be honest here.
Debatable.
Guards have really the easiest... Wait, third option on Houston?
What?
He is the third option
You're
on
saying
Houston.
he might be the fourth?
I'm saying your top 3 options there are Chris Paul, Eric Gordon, James Harden. That's
Okay. Whew, I thought he was trying to move Capella above Harden or Chris Paul.
No.
Okay, I'm fine with that. So that furthers our point that maybe he's the fourth option on that team.
Without Capella, Houston doesn't get to that first seed. Without Capella, Houston doesn't get as far as it because Capella made them run. That was what really made Draymond nervous too.
I understand. So you take him off you take Oladipo off.
Yeah.
Indiana's in the lottery.
Oh, I agree. But what I'm saying is when we're talking about a most improved player, we knew Oladipo had some skills. He showed flashes when he was in Oklahoma City.
Oof.
And then wasn't he with the Magic? I want to say he was with the Magic.
He started with the Magic.
Matter of fact, he was with
played
them
some great
2
games.
years ago?
Yeah, he played some great games with the Magic. So he had some, Capella came out of nowhere. And we all were like, we saw flashes, but we were like, yeah, Capella. And then this year he brought it as a big man.
That's why we do this show.
Capella is most improved. Most improved.
Oladipo's still the most improved, but I will not be surprised if Capella takes it.
Gotcha.
I won't be upset if Capella.
No.
Dang.
But my personal pick for that is Oladipo.
Now,
we're not sponsored, by the way, just in case you're curious.
There's more. Let's do it.
The final talk of quarter 3 is the MVP award. We have James Harden of the Houston Rockets, LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Anthony Davis of the New Orleans Pelicans. Lamar, Who is the season MVP?
Notice he said the season.
Oh, I did say the
MVP.
season.
The regular season MVP.
Regular
This is
season.
not a playoff award.
No. I heard the regular season
Okay,
part.
this is not a playoff award.
I heard the regular season part, so go ahead.
LeBron James finished 4th in the Eastern Conference Finals. Houston finished 1st.
In the Eastern Conference
In the
seed.
Eastern
In the
Conference.
Western.
In the
In
Eastern
the
Conference,
season.
yeah.
I'm sorry. In the Western Conference. in the
And I
Western
wish he
Conference.
would have finished 4th in the
James
NBA.
Harden. James Harden. Did he? I want to say James Harden led the league in points.
I rest my
could
case
be
from
wrong.
earlier, by the way.
I want to say James Harden led the league in points. I'm not sure about that.
I think he did.
But I think he did. And I just think he deserved it this year. I'm sorry. He just the best team, the best record. I think he now it could be I don't know. It could be I'm not saying he is, but I don't know. I'd have to see.
Might have to look at
I mean, we know in the playoffs LeBron went just teed off, but I'm talking about regular season. It had to be James Harden.
Sorry for being extra quiet. I was trying to filter it up. Yes, he definitely did.
Okay.
He led with 30.4. Anthony Davis was second at 28.1. LeBron was third, 27.5. So the top 3 scorers were also the
and let me throw in this other thing. Okay, James Harden had to share the ball with Chris Paul. Right.
Right.
2 ball dominant players. Right.
right.
Who does LeBron James have
Dwayne Wade.
on this current team?
He did.
Stop it.
Kevin Love.
Stop
J.R.
it.
Smith.
Stop it. It's James
Iman
Harden.
Shumpert.
It's James Harden because let's be honest here. He also was very efficient during the regular season.
Right.
Okay. If you're obviously sharing the ball with somebody, you have to be pretty efficient in order to average that many points. It's James Harden.
So James Harden, and I'm going to let you get to your take in a minute. I promise. James Harden had, by the way, this is also my pick. I think James Harden is obviously the MVP.
Yes.
We'll see what Tiger thinks in just a minute. Harden had 8.8 assists per game this year. LeBron had 9.1. I mean, we talk about having to share the ball. He had more. So, and as far as, well, LeBron kind of led the way in most other things. But, all right, Tiger. Go ahead, tell us why. Tell us what you think, because maybe we've convinced you to change your answer. I'm ready.
To answer that first question, my answers remain the same since the season even started, as a matter of fact. But I won't say.
So the season didn't matter at all.
Of course, the season.
You're saying, well, no, you just said that your thoughts of it didn't change since the season began. What do you mean by that?
I'm just talking based off of who's the better player here.
So your MVP award is for who's the best player, period. Mm-hmm. Not just in that season.
But it's supposed to be based on this regular season.
You get my point. All right. Even just as far as this season, the 2017-2018 NBA season.
Yes.
LeBron James.
Why?
Statistically, and just based off the fact that he's a better player than James.
But
statistically, he also had the better season. He didn't have to lead the league, and there's plenty of seasons that Kevin Durant won a scoring title and LeBron won the MVP award. James Harden can lead the NBA in scoring this year. That doesn't mean that LeBron is eliminated from the MVP award.
I didn't say he was eliminated. I said he's second.
But don't you think when they went through that slide that Cleveland did, don't you think that speaks to on this season who is the most valuable? It have to go to.
Let's think about this too. Personally, what I believe MVP should be about is who's most valuable to their team. If you took James Harden from Houston, lowest they go is maybe 6th seed. They're still in the playoffs.
They should call their award the most outstanding player. I've said this before. Right. They just because if we're talking value, there's nobody that beats LeBron. We understand that. Still most outstanding player.
Still don't believe James Harden.
Most outstanding player this season.
I also say that because a very popular topic all the time is that James Harden plays.
No, I will agree with that.
And I think that
he played better defense this season though. He played
better defense.
Now past season
it wasn't by much.
The past seasons,
but we're not talking about past season. We're talking about this season.
Okay, no. I'm not debating that he played better defense this season. It wasn't by much than previous seasons.
LeBron didn't play good defense this season. We just talked about that. He did not. He did not. He had games, especially at the end of the year, he was quitting.
Yep.
Quitting.
And he
That
led,
is not a
he
most
led his
valuable
team
player.
to 4th in the Eastern Conference. James Harden led his team to 1st in the West over...
I'm sorry, who did LeBron have on?
It doesn't matter. I mean,
He created this team, though.
I'm
I'm sorry
this
people
team.
using that for excuses. He was the one who got Tristan Thompson that contract. He was the one who got J.R. Smith that contract. He was the one who wanted Kevin Love. He was the one who wanted a change, who wanted new players. Him. This is his fault. This is his team. He created this. I'm tired of all the excuses. I can't do it no more.
There you
Can't
go.
do it no more.
There you go.
Can't do
I
it.
think James Harden had the better season this year. I'm not saying anything. Obviously, who's the best player in the world? LeBron.
Absolutely.
Everybody will say that. Who had the best season? James Harden.
We'll see what happens.
Plus, it's the Jordan effect. Remember 98 season? Who won the 98? Karl Malone.
The thing is, last season tells us everything we need to know about who they're going to vote this year. Because last season it was Steph, right? Steph last season, Steph the season before. LeBron's been the best player on the planet those seasons. He even won the championship 2 years ago. Now, is he better this year? Yeah, he's a monster this year. I don't know how he does it. But he keeps getting better. He's not winning the MVP award. They need to change the name of it.
Or put it after the playoffs and count the playoffs.
Or they need to change the reason that they give it out.
True.
Well, I think that's already been changed. I just think they don't verbalize it. Because
Or include the playoffs.
Well, I think for a while now, I won't even go back to for a while. I think this should have been the reason that they give out the award since they even made it. It's who's the most valuable to their team. As in, you got to think about if this player leaves their team, do they stay kind of in the place they're in? Can they maintain? Or do they just go on a downslope? Because the reality is, when LeBron James first left Cleveland, they went from 61 wins.
Yeah,
61 wins to 19. The following year, they won 21. That was what, 2012? 2013, they won
They were in the 20s. Yeah.
24 games.
That's
and
where Kyrie had a good year.
And I think
Yeah.
2014, they also only won 24 games. LeBron comes back, they win, I think it was 53.
I get what you're saying. So
I
the
got
most valuable, if you take this player off the team, it's LeBron. But I don't think that's what they're awarding the MVP.
I'm just saying that's what it should be.
I mean, think
I
about
hear
the
you.
years
I hear
that
you.
Steve Nash won. Like,
Steve Nash played no defense.
Was he really the most?
Played no
was he
defense.
I don't
really-
even want to talk about
Was he really the
No
most
defense at all.
valuable player on the team?
No, absolutely.
How come Kobe only won one of them?
You tell me.
Right.
I wish he had won more.
So I think they changed what went into this a long time ago.
Right.
So I think Harden wins this year. You think Harden wins this year. You think LeBron wins this year. We'll find out what happens later this week.
It's a good topic though for MVP versus most outstanding player.
Right.
That's a good topic. I like that.
Figure out what's going on with
That's
that
a good
title.
idea. Yeah.
Okay, that's it for the very long third quarter. We're only in the fourth quarter, and we're gonna. Woo! Oh
We
goodness
get to the
gracious!
nitty-gritty on this
Yeah,
one,
this
guys.
is the nitty gritty. Let's get it.
Tiger, take it away.
So, David gave me the honor of deciding what the fourth quarter topic was going to be. So, because I've been hearing a lot of banter about this topic, I wanted to, kind of get the guys' thoughts as well about the differences of the differences between LeBron's move to Miami in 2010 and Kevin Durant's move to Golden State in 2016.
Okay, now because Lamar and I gave a little bit of our input on this last weekend, talking about other things, I want to hear yours first. What you think the difference was between the two of them, and then we'll kind of summarize ours.
Yeah.
So what? Go ahead.
So I'll start by saying that by mentioning something that a lot of people. The biggest thing is that when LeBron went to Miami, right? When he made the decision to go to Miami, he was going to a team that the previous season won, I believe it was 47 games.
Okay.
They were a first round exit in the playoffs.
Okay.
Quite frankly,
To who?
to
it was tough.
I know.
It was to Boston. Yeah.
I know.
I had it.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the year that Wade got hot and looked at his hand. Scary.
So
Oh,
LeBron.
that's so disrespectful. Oh, come on.
No, I'm being totally serious. It was Game 5. I totally remember it. I totally remember it.
You better stop it.
I'm not being
Was it
disrespectful
the game that he
at all.
dropped like 50?
Yes.
He dropped a
Yes, he
lot.
did.
But what I'm
That's
saying is
59.
that he was at one point he looked at his hand and he was like, dang, he couldn't believe how hot he
Yeah,
was.
no, I remember.
Okay,
He did.
all right.
Continue.
Keep
He
going.
did.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, so joined a team that previous season won 47 games, was a first round exit, was almost practically irrelevant at that point.
Practically irrelevant equals playoffs.
Keep going. Hang on. Let him talk. Let him talk. Go ahead.
Boston was first seed that year.
Oh, yeah.
8th seed does not matter. And they're most likely going to run exit majority of the time. About 95% of the time.
Go on.
Anyway,
Get it.
so
I
that's
got you.
LeBron's move. Kevin Durant's move. When you really look at it from...
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying that we're not sponsored.
Go ahead.
Continue.
Oh,
I'm sorry. No, it wasn't about you.
I had seen it because
No, it wasn't
but
about
I
you.
wasn't
Go
sure.
ahead.
Anyway, Kevin Durant's move. I think we can both agree he's the second best player in the NBA.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You both. What about me?
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Kevin Durant's the second best player.
Yes.
Second best player in the NBA.
Yes.
If Kawhi is healthy, he's number 2. But that's
If
another-
Kawhi's healthy, he's number 3 right now. I need another season for him to see
okay,
what he
sure.
do. Go ahead.
But that's another conversation. Again, we can agree Kevin Durant is the second best player in the NBA. Joined a team that previously set the record for most regular season wins, which, for y'all who don't know, 73 is just one more win than, what was it, the 96 Bulls that won 72 games?
Mm-hmm.
So a team that practically didn't need him
Right.
already has 3 other elite players
Right.
that play at a very high level.
Right.
What was the first year that Steph Curry set a record for most threes in a season? It was 2015. He made like 289. The following season, he made like 402. So it's not like any of these guys needed Kevin Durant.
Right.
He's the second best player in the NBA.
Right.
So just based off that alone, whatever way you want to look at it, and people can call it a business decision. People can call it, he did what was best for him. Whatever way you want to look at it, his move was soft. It made him look soft.
And LeBron's wasn't.
No, absolutely not. Especially because, look at it this way. I think we can agree as well that any final series, which, I mean, obviously the Golden State Warriors will make the finals all the time that this squad is together. They will never be the underdog, right?
Right.
I can definitely tell you, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, that even going into the 2013 finals against San Antonio, Miami was the underdog. Am I wrong there?
Yes.
Why?
Oh, they were definitely the favorite.
They were definitely the favorite.
No.
Yeah. Wait. We're talking about when they went
13.
back to back.
No.
Or?
No. I'm talking
Because they
about
went-
the
they
first year they faced San Antonio.
Oh, I don't know. Because I keep bringing this up, y'all. Dwayne Wade, during those years, that was prime time. Dwayne Wade, man.
So
Top 5.
here's what we talked about last week. Last show we talked about this difference here and how KD going to the Warriors makes it 4 of the top 24 is the number that we kind of sort of decided on.
Gotcha.
4 of the top 24 in the NBA on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have LeBron, when he went to the Heat, wound up being 3 of the top 10 in the NBA. That's silly. So I think LeBron started this whole super team thing.
He definitely did.
Can't really say.
Who did?
Kevin Durant.
No.
You're telling me Kevin Durant was the first super team?
No.
Oh,
No,
man,
no,
I
no,
can't
no,
believe
no,
I
no,
cannot
no,
believe
no,
this.
no, no,
I cannot
no.
believe this.
Because guess what? This is like a new standard for the super team, as you say. Miami was a great team. Kevin Durant's Golden State Warriors, he's one of 4 All-Stars.
Which makes Kevin Durant's move weak. Which makes
Okay,
it weaker.
so-
but it's still weak with
No,
LeBron
hold
did.
on. So if you make that point, then the 2004 Detroit Pistons that were led by Chauncey Billups, that was a super team.
No, that was a squad.
That was a squad, but they had 4 All-Stars. So then we come back to today, where yes, we have 4 All-Stars, and I'm not trying to downplay them. I'm trying to upplay them. They're 4 of the top 24, but then LeBron put together 3 of the top 10. that's statistically better.
Wait. 3 of the top 10 what players in the NBA at that time?
Yes.
Chris Bosh was.
Chris Bosh was
he
definitely
was.
top 10.
You
oh,
that.
man.
You
Did you see how he was playing with Toronto? He was
with
dominating
Toronto,
with
not
Toronto.
Miami.
He was dominating with
No,
Toronto.
and what? Okay, he was dominant in Toronto. Only his first year in Miami was he good.
Wait,
Only his
that
first
doesn't
year.
matter.
wait a minute.
Now, the following years, he was a good role player. He was not an
Lord.
all-star.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
He
role
was not
player.
an all-star.
Oh.
He-
Did he make
he-
the All-Star team that first year?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Oh, he's an
Yeah, he
All-Star.
did. The following years, did he?
Oh my gosh. He was an All-Star.
The following years, was he there with Dwayne Wade
was
and
an
LeBron James?
All-Star.
Okay. In 2011, yes, he was. Was he there the following years after?
Was it Chris Bosh?
No. You didn't answer my question.
Was it on the All-Star
Was
team?
he-
I thought he was. Was he really? He wasn't on the All-Star?
Right after 2011,
somebody
he
got to
was.
look this up.
You
I
can
gotta
fact
figure
check.
this
You can
out.
fact check that and correct me if I'm
no.
wrong. But I don't remember him being on the All-Star team after 2011.
I want to know what are his stats? What are his stats those years? Is what I'm curious about.
So when he was on those teams, when he was in Miami, where's it? Where am I? Okay, over here. First year, he was 24 points per game.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. He was 18.7 points per game. And then he was 18, and then he was 16.6. And then he was 16.2. So he diminished every year.
Right.
But I can't get behind this whole
He was
not
an
being
all-star.
top 10.
I'm not saying he was a bad player. Obviously, he was a key to Miami at that time.
He was more than a key.
He was not an All-Star though.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to find something.
He was not an All-Star.
Okay, all right. How about this then? Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, in my opinion, you're talking about one of the most devastating fast breaks
For sure.
to ever hit the
Oh no!
NBA.
Oh no! Absolutely.
Devastating.
Absolutely.
When LeBron and Dwayne Wade were in the open court, it was
like
over.
you're done.
It was over. It was game over.
Dudes were scared if it was 2-on-1.
Right.
They were scared for their lives.
My argument is Chris Bosh made, along with LeBron, obviously, made the half court work. That's why Chris Bosh.
That's fair.
That's why Chris Bosh
That's fair.
was so
But
valuable.
but either way it goes, then you have 2 All-Stars and another good player versus 4 elite All-Stars.
Oh, no. I admit it. KD's was way weaker. I'm saying though they're more similar than what we think because LeBron put those guys. Obviously, they're talking, they're communicating, they're getting that in the works.
Let me ask you this: you put Kevin Durant on that Miami team, do they even still make?
You talking about if you switch
If
LeBron?
you switch roles there. Now, I'm not even gonna necessarily say switch roles. If you were to put Kevin Durant on the Miami team that LeBron was on,
Which talking about? Oh, youngin, run and gun, Kevin Durant
yes.
on that team. Oh yeah, run and gun, Kevin Durant was nice.
No, actually,
was nice.
If you put 2013 Kevin Durant on that team, because that was the year that was the third year in a row that they went to the finals. You put 2013.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question.
Because I also want you to consider
That's a good
this.
question.
I also want you to consider this. Yes, LeBron played with 2 other very good players. LeBron still carried that team to each of the championships they went to. Kevin Durant does not have to worry about carrying anybody. He still plays with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. 3 of those guys can have a bad night and still get carried by the 4th one to a win.
Absolutely. Which is why LeBron James is always number one.
That's not the case with Miami.
Still makes his move weak though.
I have news. Chris Bosh was an all-star every year from 2005, 2006 until 2015, 2016.
Because Chris Bosh was a great player.
Because he was a top 10 player in the NBA his last year in Toronto.
No,
Wait. You said his last year in Toronto.
Listen. So then what LeBron James did that summer when he got on television, national television, we're not sponsored, he got on national television, and he said to his fans, you included, well, you didn't care because you were going to go where you went, to Cavs fans, those don't exist anymore, but what he said was, I'm taking my talents to South Beach with 2 of the other top 10 players in the NBA.
Yes.
He didn't know that Chris Bosh was going to diminish the next year. All he knew was that at that time,
Chris
he
Bosh was
was
very dominant.
a top 10 player in the NBA.
Okay.
So he said, I need, let's see, if I'm going to make it past the Celtics, I'm going to go Dwayne Wade. He's another top 10. And, hey, Chris Bosh, another top 10. Come on down. And then they won. Cool, great, awesome. Congrats to you. And then Kevin Durant, I have a summary after this. Kevin Durant says, "Oh, I can't beat you guys. Let me just, I'm just, can I come play? Can I come play?" And he goes and plays. Here's the summary. They're both extremely weak moves.
Let's be honest here. I'm gonna say it. I know this is gonna make you mad, but I'm gonna say it. LeBron joined Miami the way he did to beat the Boston Celtics because he couldn't beat them before. He couldn't get over the hump to beat Boston.
Beat them
and
with
so,
that no-name squad.
No. Hang on. You're right. What I'm saying is, I think Boston was the beginning of the super teams. I said it. Boston was the beginning of the super teams.
All right.
Now, they weren't the top 10. They were not the top 10 superstars. But you're talking about KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen.
Listen.
Three guys that could bring.
They were 3 Hall of Famers at the end of their career. And here's my point.
Paul Pierce was in his prime.
Listen.
Paul Pierce.
Listen.
He was definitely
Paul
in his
Pierce
prime.
was 30 at the time.
He was definitely in his prime.
He was 30 years old.
Listen. The reason that wasn't the anywhere type of super team that 3 of the top 10 Miami Heat were is because none of those players could win a championship by themselves on their own team. Paul Pierce wasn't going to be able to put together a Celtics team that could compete for the championship against the Spurs.
Which is why he's not as great as
against
Kobe,
the
but we'll come back
Lakers.
to that.
Wait. You said none of those guys would be able to win a championship
By
alone, right?
themselves.
By themselves. LeBron hasn't necessarily won a championship by himself either.
But Dwayne Wade did. Just why that makes the move a little bit.
Dwayne Wade had Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, stop it! Stop it!
Shaq
Shaq
wasn't the same since he took off this shit.
I'm not saying
he
he's the
was
same.
not.
He's still Shaq.
Oh,
I'm not
he wasn't the dominant force that he was in LA.
He wasn't.
Not with Miami.
I'm not saying he was the dominant force in Miami that he was in LA. I'm not saying he was the same Shaq. He was still Shaq. He was still dominant in Miami.
No,
I'm not saying he was as dominant. He's still Shaquille O'Neal.
He was solid, but he wasn't.
Solid is obviously all he needed to win the championship.
Okay, let me tell you this. Who willed that team to win against Dallas that year? It was all Dwayne Wade.
Sure.
What did Shaq do?
Shaq rode around for the ride.
And then celebrated the end. Was like,
right.
Dwayne, you probably won.
I got one more than Kobe.
That's what Kobe did when Shaq won him those 3 rings. But anyway, what?
Whoa.
You better take that statement
back
right now.
Wait a minute.
No. Are you telling me right now who's better, Kobe Bryant or Dwayne Wade?
At that time or just in general?
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Both of them.
No, absolutely. Kobe Bryant's better.
Oh.
Shaq won all 3 of those years. Won Finals MVP.
No, but what I'm saying is it was those 2 powering, right? Then obviously Kobe said, you know what, I'm gonna do it by myself, and he did it. Shaq has to have a guard in order to win a championship. He had Penny to do it. They couldn't do it because Hakeem went over and showed him what the dream shake was. He couldn't do it. He needs a guard to complete the task. I'm sorry, big men have to have a guard to complete it. That's why also Boston had to have Rondo to be so good and to grow up into that, what he was. They had to have guards. You have to have a guard to deliver a championship. I'm sorry.
So, to wrap up, I think the Celtics, my Celtics, were not a super team comparable to Miami because I think that LeBron was competing for championships by himself. Dwayne Wade won a championship by himself. And Chris Bosh, maybe not as much. But then you put those 3 together, that's much different than Paul Pierce, who only in the past had made to the conference finals. Kevin Garnett only made to the conference finals. And Ray Allen, that team doesn't even exist anymore. Like, I'm sorry, Seattle fans. I didn't mean to say it. I didn't mean to say it. I said it, though. So, like,
what about Seattle? What?
My thing...
It was Supersonics.
Yeah, no.
Supersonics.
Yeah, no, I was cracking a joke.
That sounds made up. Anyway, my thing is that those 3 weren't going to win a championship on their own, so they came together towards the end of their career. Yes, Paul Pierce is still in his prime. The other 2 towards the end of their career.
And you had a young Rondo and
we had a young Rondo.
I think Maybe the second best coach in the game.
The second best coach at the game at that time.
At that time, yeah.
And LeBron put together 3 of the top 10, which I think overpowered. We said that on the last show. And then KD joined the Warriors
Weakest move.
and ruined the NBA.
Yeah. I didn't ruin the NBA.
Yes, he.
No, it did not.
So
All right,
no.
so
So you don't think that it being sadly inevitable? Who's
It
going to come
wasn't
out?
inevitable. It was not. Had Chris Paul been healthy, I'm going
The
to
only-
say it
the
again.
only reason-
they would have won.
The only
against
reason,
Golden State.
I will say, Houston would have won that series if Chris Paul was playing. But the only reason that Houston even got 3 games on them is because Golden State underestimated them. It wasn't a matter of how they
Partially
played.
that. Also, everyone in Game 6, before they even took the floor, everyone, what was everybody saying? Clay is probably going to go off for 40 tonight. And who won them the game?
Clay Thompson dropped to what, 35?
And when the game went 7, even though it was in Houston, everyone was like, well,
Chris Paul, if we don't get in these big time players, we will gladly take you with the Lakers because we know your contract's up too. We will take you to the Lakers too. We will show you what you are worth because you should have been a Laker years ago. And David Stern messed it up. That's all I'm going to say.
this has dragged on long enough. That's all the 17-16 that we have for you guys this week. We're still not sponsored. Next week, maybe we'll be sponsored. I don't know. But next week, we're going to be bringing on a Houston Rockets fan to talk to us about the conference finals, where I will be suiting up. I will be suiting up in my Celtics attire, talking about the conference finals. We'll be talking about the Houston Rockets. We'll do our reactions to.
T-shirt.
We'll be doing our
See you wearing a Dallas
reactions
shirt.
to who won the NBA awards. And we'll talk about whatever news comes out between now and then. What if one of these big free agents hits a spot?
It won't. It'll be the draft.
Yeah.
Well, now there could be a trade. There could be a trade, especially with Boston. Look out for that. Boston might do something with those draft picks.
Scared.
They might do something.
But anyway, thank you, Lamar, for joining us as always. Tiger, thank you for coming.
Tiger, bro.
Thank you for telling us about LeBron. Thank you for agreeing. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
We'll see Tiger sometime soon.
that's right.
We'll see you all next week. Until then, enjoy some ball.
Woo.